break down the narrative to the place where there's a person who we need to blame. And if we can only get this person out of office, and I've heard it on both sides, if we just only get that nut Trump out of the White House, then things would be better. It's his fault. Him. If we can only get this person out of office, then things would be better. That's our solution. Let's get to it. No, folks. There are spiritual realities that are going on. The spiritual world is more real than the world that you live in. You know, we're concerned very much so about the deep fake nature of AI and how videos are being produced, and they could even use my voice to produce a video that sounds like I'm saying something that I've never said. The image, the voice, hard to discern, except for I might have 6 fingers. That's why I keep showing my fingers here. And so it's getting hard to tell what really is real. But I want to say this is not a new phenomenon. It's always been hard to tell what really is real, because the things that our natural eye sees are not the things that our spiritual person and our spiritual eyes begin to see as we follow Jesus Christ. Now, some of you are blocked from access. You're walking around like this. You're responding to life like this because you cannot see the glory of King Jesus. You cannot see the hope of the gospel. You are as blind as you possibly can be, and you're responding to the situations that are taking place in life. It's a difficult place to be, because the knee-jerk response is it's their fault. It's they.com. It's this particular person, and not the overall schema of what's going on here. A couple more moments on this. I got to get out of here. Oh, good. We still got 10 minutes. A couple more moments on this. I want you guys to see a little bit more of this. This is great. John McCrae does a fantastic job. If you've not already subscribed to his channel, what do you mean? What are you waiting for?
A schema is a mental framework built from prior experiences, media exposure, and social narratives that help us interpret ambiguous information quickly. So in other words, a schema is basically the framing that we see events through. So when it comes to this situation, one schema for a lot of people on the left is shaped by a deep fear of unchecked power and past abuse of law enforcement and government authorities. And this fear didn't come out of nowhere. It was formed by years of seeing what they believe are videos of excessive force, wrongful deaths, cover-ups, and institutions that seem more interested in protecting themselves than telling the truth. You can also add to that several months of viral clips like these. Okay, now this isn't to say that the clips necessarily tell the true or the full story, but if you've been seeing clips like these for months and held to the same schema that they do, then you would see the Minneapolis footage the way that they do too. When they saw the footage, they didn't see this as an isolated incident. They saw what they believed to be a familiar pattern. Federal agents, abuse of power, and, well, you know the rest. And if you've been informed by that story long enough, then the conclusion feels obvious. Of course this was abuse. And of course this was yet another example of power being used without accountability. Okay, now, but on the other side, there's a different schema at play. For a lot of people on the right, the dominant fear isn't about unchecked power. It's about chaos and lawlessness. It's the sense that the social order is unraveling and authorities are being undermined, attacked, and ignored. That schema has also been shaped by years of footage. What they see as violent riots, officers being assaulted, and cities being burned, and add to that the latest addition to political violence.
Former President Donald Trump has been shot and injured while campaigning in Pennsylvania.
Conservative activist Charlie Kirk gunned down in front of a crowd at Utah Valley University.
Okay, and again, understand the point of me showing you this. The point is, if you believe that political violence is no longer fringe and is being aimed at people like you, then you would see the Minneapolis footage the same way that they do too. When people with this schema watched the footage, they didn't see an isolated incident. They saw what they also believed to be a pattern. A violent political radical, an officer doing his job and doing his best to protect himself and others. And if you've been living inside of that fear for long enough, then of course this was self-defense. Of course the danger came from the person behind the wheel. And that's how schemas frame what we see. And in this case, it caused people on both sides to decide what the...
All right, so I'm gonna punch out of that for just a second and just say, don't let these fools take over your mind. Don't let these guys take over your mind. I have a healthy respect for East Nashville, in which I live. I'm broadcasting this presently speaking from the Resolute desk of East Nashville. There's a lot of progressives who are over here. LGBTPQRS LMNOP, flag waving, progressive, non-religious folks who are on my side of town. And I love it. Absolutely love it. I actually love talking to my neighbors because I think sometimes we think nobody really thinks that if we're just surrounded by an echo chamber until you meet somebody that you respect that actually thinks that. And then you got to come to terms with the fact that, wait a minute. You get up every day, you put your pants on, take care of your kids, put the trash out on Tuesdays, Wednesday this week because we had a holiday, wave. Sometimes our kids will play together, but you're thinking something completely different, interpreting life in a completely different way. Don't let these fools take up your brain to think that it is one way or the other. I would tell you that it's an admixture of both of those things. Have their